Police force, it's Saturday and we've been really busy today shipping out orders from early doors this morning. I think 140 kilos went out, which is incredible. 9 boxes went out before 12 o'clock. Then another 9 boxes were packed for Monday, and then the rest will be packed. And by 4 p.m. Monday, there'll be about 35 boxes leave. Anyway, as you know, if you've been following, or if you don't know, every Saturday afternoon as voluntary work, we do some experimentation from a beginner's approach to the area of yarn to knitwear. Now, at the minute, the most commercially viable is to buy mill-spun yarn and go into knitwear through machine knitting, just because of the amount of hours it takes to hand spin and hand knit. But never say never. I have not ruled that area out for being commercially viable. It will be last to probably be investigated. From starting the mill, I've started with cheap production. So I started with a felting needle and some wool. It required no equipment, and built up section by section from there. We're quite vast, so I don't really want to make yarn to knitwear my core business, but I do have to investigate it because our mission overall is to bring back UK wool, and we stock 83 breeds. Now, I've got some really valuable knowledge, and I'm also a beginner, so I think that I have a lot to contribute. Because from a beginner's approach, it's amazing about the amount of information that you can achieve, and also inspire other beginners to join and take up the craft. Anyway, to cut a long story short, the past couple of Saturdays we've been working on the approach. So, for example, things aren't all what they seem. If you come out with, the design, and then you buy a knitting machine or acquire a knitting machine or even approach a company, well, the machinery only has a range. So you might not be able to get the design because the machinery won't be able to process that particular yarn that'll be able to do your design, your stitch that you had in mind. So say you wanted a really chunky sort of knit with big holes in for your product, and yet your knitting machine that you've just bought only takes 4 ply. Well, that's it. I mean, I was just looking at DK because DK is a really common wool. And also, you know, to process, I've been through this before, but to process from raw to knitwear, A, it takes a long time. B, it diverts your attention away from your product because there's too much time and attention needed in the processing stages. So really, for yarn to knitwear, you need to be starting at the highest possible point. And I think you need to be starting from the yarn area. But the work that we've done has been incredible. I didn't even realise what sort of can of worms we'd opened. I didn't realise that actually the people who are supplying that top end actually also need supplies further down. They're the ones that can look further down to the washed and dried and the raw end and the carded end, you know, and see what we stock, because we stock 83 breeds. So anyway, where we're up to is that we're ready to buy yarn in, and it's still very new. So we've sort of trialed acrylic because we know acrylic would go through the knitting machine that we have available. The knitting machine prefers 4 ply. So that's what we need to go with. Then we need to I've got roundabout ideas for the designs, but we really need to go with the machine working first, because that's the one that's going to produce for us, and we need to go with its optimum yarn. Now, this is Flock & Skein's website, and of course we're a UK wool ethos area. I stock 100% UK wool at fair trade to British farmers, and here is Flock & Skein, who do the same and have the same ideas, and it has been a pleasure to be in contact with Chris. Absolutely brilliant. 100% pure British wool. And on the knitwear side, when I visited London, I just couldn't believe that there was no there was no British wool knitwear in a lot of the stores. I just couldn't believe it. I was saying, oh, come on, instead of doing all this cashmere and merino, could we not just get some blue face Leicester in there or something? So it's going to take community positivity to reinstall wool, British wool, and its brand. So this is the area I'm interested in. But of course, you know, I'm just talking to a world audience as well on Facebook. So, you know, just go by example and go with a yarn company that matches your ethos. So I'm just using Flock and Skein here as an example because, like I say, it's just a match, such a match. Let's scroll down. So it's 4 ply I need. Now let's have a look. Oh wow, amazing colours. Look at this. Chris hand dyes his wool as well. That's just incredible. We like hand dyed wool. It's just lovely. And we just take into account how you have to treat it, how you have to wash it, just very gentle. Oh, look at the Teeswater there. That's amazing. Oh, what do we go for? That's incredible. Masham yarn, I like that one. I'm thinking some undyed for a white background. I'm thinking some reds, and I'm thinking about greens. I do like Masham. It's a very strong staple as well as Masham. I'll just check his other page. So again, I'm just staying in the 4 ply range. Yeah, I've made up my mind. So I am going to go for, that one's sold out. So we've got another one to come. Well, orange wouldn't go amiss. Teeswater, which again is going to be, you know, that's native to County Durham. So we should go with Teeswater, I think. And, oh, spoiled for choice. And I think this lovely green Masham. So I think we're going to choose these. I'm going to buy these now. And then what we're going to do next meetup when we run the content, which is next Saturday, I think. But I'm just going to be careful because I don't know what the postage times are. These are really, really special products. So I'm not going to put any pressure on this lovely business to like post out Amazon times. This is really special. But I'm going to order this one and this one. And when they land, we're going to trial them through the knitting machine for the first time. Now, the knitting machine is in for a deep clean. So we should be about right. And we've got Alison Mason as well from the Durham Spinners Guild, who's probably going to give us a little guidance as she's worked quite a bit with knitting machines. Then I'm just off to buy also some undyed yarn just to add a bit of white background if we want to do punch cards, for example. And it's a punch card work that I really, really enjoyed. So here's to it. Let's support. Let's just get this community and let's talk. Lovely to hear from you if you are really experienced, and lovely to hear from you if you're brand new in like ourselves. I mean, I have deep knowledge of primitive processing wool. I have deep knowledge of the breeds. But I have very, very limited knowledge about operating knitting machines, what yarn goes through what knitting machine, and organising the design process, etc. One thing I do say is starting micro is very low cost and you can run your prototypes before approaching, but also you can approach companies at the same time, more commercial, larger scale companies who may be able to help as well. There's nothing wrong with going right to the bottom in the primitive side, doing a few things by hand, because you get to see, hear, feel and learn. Anyway, that's it for today. It's a long video, this one, but well worth the explanation. Take care.